All right, guys. The one thing I learned about trying to be famous and trying to be successful is that, most people are not there, right? So they can't understand what you're going through or what you're trying to do. So for them, they just see it as annoyance or whatever. Not most people, but a lot of people like me very much and really enjoy me and are very happy for me and think amazing things. But there are the people that won't be joining you or don't like it, right? It's tough on them, right? They're poor, they're struggling, and they're not able to get in and out of the rut, right? For them, being famous is not something they can see for themselves, so they just have a hard time and they can't see it for themselves, right? So, and you have to be understanding to that, right? You could be in the same boat as me. You're trying to be famous, you're doing very, very well, and people don't like it, right? So people just give you a hard time, and you just feel, hey, this is not fair. But you have to remember, like, being famous is a privilege that most people don't have, right? So if you are famous and you think to yourself, hey, I really worked hard, I did all this stuff. The thing is, it's very, very rare. I know to a lot of people, they're just like trying to be famous. A lot of people feel entitled these days, and a lot of people are struggling so much with money that they just don't have a choice, but would rather feel like they're going to be famous one day than feel like they're not going to. Because why would you want to think you're not going to be famous if you are poor? You need to get a way out of it, right? So people will feel like fame is just the only option, whatever. But I mean, I don't know exactly if this is 100% true, but I think a lot of people make videos and they just think they're going to get there, and a lot of people do make videos and they will get there, right? So there is that, right? I'm just talking about one thing right now, so just focusing on the people that are struggling that tend to hate on others, right? And it's not a big deal because they are struggling, so they hate, and that's perfectly normal. I mean, if you're struggling, you're going to hate, right? But it's not a good attitude to have because what if you hate someone that doesn't like you and they're successful, they could be rude to you, whatever, right? So you have to make sure you're not hating on the wrong people. It's just a complicated thing. It's better not to hate at all. But anyway, so this is a video about haters, not necessarily in general, right? And none of it and it's not necessarily all true, whatever, but it's just like a random thing that I'm doing, okay? So yeah, so some haters will be very upset with people, and it's not a good attitude to have because you might need someone's help, you might need someone to do something for you. So it's really important to stay positive as much as you can. But I don't know what situations people are dealing with. Some people are dealing with a horrendous situation. Some people have mental health issues, whatever, and it's impossible, right? So being able to recognize that as a creator, if you know you're going to be famous, and you know you're going to do well, you know it, right? You know, so if you know these things, it's partly about hate, it's partly about successful people, right? If you know you're going to be famous, just remember it's a privilege that you have. Being famous is not, most people can't be famous. It's not possible, right? The percentage of actual famous people in Hollywood is, out of the population, the percentage of famous people in Hollywood is 0.00000086, I think. That's the percentage of the people that are actually famous. And if you think about it, out of 8 billion people, I mean, if you times that number by 8 billion, it's still a decent amount of people. I think it's like 3,000 people or 30,000 people or something like that. But I mean, in the whole grand scheme of things, in the population, it's super, super rare, right? And I believe you can get there if you put your mind to it and know you're going to get there. But I mean, somebody's come and go, right? Some people join, some people are not, right? But I don't think it's something you should really give up on or feel like you'll never get there. But I think you should have strategies or different things to really focus on to make sure you get there and do well, right? But it is a very low percentage, right, out of the population. So knowing that, being a very low percentage, a lot of people will tend to feel like they're going to be famous and everything. Which I think that should not be taken away from people. I think people should be able to feel like they're going to be famous. I think people should feel like they're going to be stars and starlets. And like I said, sometimes I see you guys, and you guys have great ideas, or you look incredibly gorgeous, or whatever. Some of you guys are really going to be famous, right? So yes, I can see that. And like I mentioned before, in terms of like, when you see Jeffree Star's first video, you just know he's going to be a star. You don't know when, you don't know how long it's going to take, but and he started. And the thing is, nowadays there's a lot more competition, right? So back in the day when Jeffree Star was on, when Jeffree Star was on, that was 2006 or 2008. Nikki Tutorial and Jeffree Star both were around the same time, so 2006 and 2008 were the times they were on. So because they were on at those times, you know, to be famous back then, to earn fame with the amount of people that were on these platforms at that time was much easier, right? But most people still didn't make fame because of the percentage is so low, right? But you know, in terms of haters and all that, some haters, I mean, it's annoying. You don't like hate, and you wish it would never happen. But they go through a lot and can't stand their lives, and that sucks for them, right? So we want people to feel loved even if they're hated, right? But yes, so anyway, it's very, very rare to be a celebrity. I know people are like, well, how is it that rare? We see tons of celebrities, they're always around, but it's like the same people we're noticing, right? Anyway, thank you guys, bye now, total joy.